Hello dear students, good evening, welcome to Chandu Biology Classes. So, now we will be discussing GATE 2020 General Aptitude questions. In the previous classes, we already discussed 2025 paper, 2024 paper, 2023, 2022 and also 2021 pertaining to General Aptitude GATE questions. Now, we will be discussing 2020 General Aptitude questions. So, let us start friends. So, you know that questions 1 to 5 carry 1 mark each and 6 to 10 carry how many marks? 2 marks each. So, the total from General Aptitude you are getting how many questions? 10 questions but 15 marks. So, let us start with the first question. I hope the screen is visible to all of you. I hope I am audible. Let me check if I am audible. Yeah, got it. I am audible. So, let us start with the first question. So, they are telling what? Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award was conferred dash Mary Kom, okay, a 6-time world champion in the boxing, recently in a ceremony dash the Rashtrapati Bhavan, the president's official residence in New Delhi. Rashtrapati Bhavan, you know that it is a president's official residence. Like how we have Rashtrapati, I mean we have Raj Bhavan also for the governor. So, see here Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award was conferred, you can say conferred to or on, okay. Okay, but here the most suitable word is on, okay, the most suitable word is on, okay. So, and recently in a ceremony at the Rashtrapati Bhavan, that is the right answer, at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. So, we are talking about the propositions here and in New Delhi, because New Delhi is a big city, that is for bigger entity we are using in, for smaller entity within that we are using at, okay. So, this will be at. So, the right answer will be option C, clear, okay. Next question. Despite a string of poor performances, the chances of KL Rahul selections in the team are, okay, slim, bright, obvious, uncertain, okay, obvious, uncertain, okay. Despite a string of poor performances, that is what they are telling, what happened, okay, let us solve it here. See here, despite a string of poor performances, let us do it in the PDF itself. Just a minute. String of poor performances, these are the poor performances, okay. Chances of KL Rahul selections in the team, despite, that means despite the poor performances, the chances of KL Rahul selection means, that means despite that he may get selected, that means what? It is not slim, that means it is a negative word. Obvious, we cannot say obvious, okay. Uncertain, it is not uncertain. If it is uncertain, they would not use despite. So, our bright is the most appropriate word. So, option B is the right answer here. Bright is the right answer here. Select the word that fits the analogy. So, this is analogy based question. In the previous year also, that is in 2021, 2022 also, we saw analogy based question. Every year we are getting questions from analogy. So, see here, cover is to uncover, opposite words, that is antonyms. Associate, opposite word is what? Unassociate, no, it is not right. Inassociate, no. Misassociate, no. So, dissociate, okay, you can see in chemistry also, association, dissociation, reaction, all these things. So, see here, associate, opposite word is dissociate, clear, this is the right answer. Next question, see here, observe everyone. So, which of the following statements can be inferred from the given passage? So, look at the passage first. So, they are telling what? They are telling, good evening Kalyan, okay. So, they are telling what? All of you please do join soon and start listening to the class, this will be helpful. So, they are telling what? Hit by the floods, the kharif summer sown crops in various parts of the country have been, affected, that is kharif crops have been affected because of floods. Officials believe that the loss in production of the kharif crops can be recovered in the output of the rabi crops, so that the country can achieve its food grain production target of 291 million tons in the crop year 2019-20, okay. So, they have a target of this. So, kharif crops, whatever the loss is happening, they can compensate it by the output of the rabi crops to reach the target, okay. They are hopeful that the good rains in July, August will help the soil retain moisture for a longer period, okay, helping winter sown crops such as wheat and pulses during the November-February period. This is what they expect, okay. Now, see here, this is what they expect. Which of the following statements can be inferred from the given passage? Officials declare that the food grain production target will be met due to good rains. They did not declare anything, nothing they declared, Okay, they have kept a target, they did not declare. Okay, official want the food grain production target to be met by November February period. No, they did not say that it should be met by November February period. Okay, because of the rain in July August, the Rabi season, that is November February period, the crops that will be grown, that will compensate for the losses that happens in the summer season crops, that is Kharif crops. That is what they said. They did not say target will be met by November February period. Okay. Okay, so this is also wrong. Next one, officials feel that the food grain production target cannot be met due to floods. They are not telling that cannot be flood, they are telling optimistic only. See the word hopeful. So they cannot say it cannot be. Okay, so officials hope that the food grain production target will be met due to good Rabi produce. Yes, this is absolutely correct. So Kharif is being hit by floods. Okay, floods. Because of this, to increase food grain production, Rabi season will help us. So due to good Rabi season, food grain production target can be achieved. That is what option D says. That is what the passage also says. The given phrases also say. Clear? So that is the right answer. So let us move to the next question, friends. Look at this question. I hope it is visible. They are telling the difference between the sum of the first two n natural numbers and the sum of the first n odd natural numbers. Okay, they are telling what is what they are telling. 2n natural numbers, first n odd natural numbers, 2n natural numbers. If I talk about n natural numbers, okay, sum of what is that? Sum of first n natural numbers is given by n into n plus 1 by 2. Okay, n into n plus 1 by 2. But they are telling 2n. So wherever n is there, I should replace by 2n. So this will become what? 2n into what is this? 2n plus 1. Okay, 2n into 2n plus 1 divided by 2. Okay, 2n into 2n plus 1 divided by 2. So this I can do it as what? This I can do it as 2 to the 4n square plus 2n by 2. I can take 2 common. This will become 2 into 2n square. Okay, I can take 2n common, right? Instead of taking 2n common, I can take 2 common. Okay, 2n. Let me take 2n. So if I take 2n common, I will get it as 2n plus 1. Okay, 2n plus 1. Okay, what I will get? 2n plus 1, 2n plus 1, or let me take just 2 common. Okay, let me take just 2 common, that is enough for us. Okay, let me take just 2 common. This will become 2n square, okay, plus n. Okay, 2n square plus n divided by 2. I will get what? 2 cancels. I will get what? I will get 2n square plus n. 2n square plus n. Now I can take n also, I can take common. This will become what? 2n, n into n plus 1 by 2, correct na? N into n plus 1 by 2, 2n into 2n plus 1. Okay, 2n into 2n plus 1, correct no? 2n into 2n plus 1. So this is what we have. If I take this common, I will get, this is 2n square plus n, correct? 2n square plus n. This I will get it as 2n square plus n. Let us keep it as it is. So this will be equal to 2n square plus n. This is what I have. Let us keep it as it is. Now they are talking about odd natural numbers. Odd natural numbers, it is given by the odd natural numbers. It is given by the sum of n odd natural numbers is given by 2n minus 1. The last digit is 2n minus 1. If I put 1 here, 135 I should put. Okay, if I keep like this, if I keep 1, 2n minus 1, 2 into 2 minus 1, I will get 1. If I keep 3 here, 2 3s are 6. 6 minus 1 is, I will get 5. Okay, so if I keep 3, I will get like this. Okay, this is 2n minus 1. 2 3s are 6, 6 minus 1, 5. So similarly, if I keep 5, 2 5 are 10, 10 minus 1, 9. So this will give us actually n square. So sum of n odd natural numbers is given by what? N square. So they are asking what? They are basically asking the difference between these two. The difference between these two. What I should write? 2n square plus n minus n square. So 2n square minus n square is what? N square only. Okay. 2n square minus n square is n square. Okay. N will remain as it is. N square plus n. I will get the answer. So the answer will be what? N square plus n, which is nothing but option B. Okay, which is nothing but option B. So you should have some basic idea about sum of n natural numbers, sum of 2n natural numbers, sum of n odd natural numbers, sum of even natural numbers. You should have the basic knowledge. Okay. Now look at this. So question 6 to 10 carry 2 marks each. Look at the question what they have given. So they are talking about repo rate. Okay, but the question is not about repo rate. The question is about the inference that you can draw from the concept that they have given. Repo rate is a rate at which the Reserve Bank of India lends commercial banks. Okay, repo rate. Okay, so there is a bank, that is Reserve Bank of India is there, under which there are many banks. Okay, bank 1, bank 2, bank 3, like that. Okay, Reserve Bank of India will lend it. Okay, will lend it like this. Okay, lending means the rate means what? The interest rate. The interest rate by Reserve Bank of India which it will charge while giving the loan to other banks, it is called repo rate. Okay, it is called repo rate. Okay, repo rate. For giving the money, it will charge some interest. So it is called repo rate. Okay, and reverse repo rate is a rate at which the RBI borrows from the commercial banks. Okay, let me use some other color. Let me use some other color. From here, okay, from here and from here, when the banks borrow, it is called reverse repo. It is called as what? Reverse repo. It is called as what? Reverse repo. Now look at the concept. Based on the concept, they are telling decrease in repo rate will increase the cost of borrowing. No, when the repo rate is less, okay, you can borrow more. When the repo rate is less, the banks will have more money. When the rate of interest is less, from RBI bonds, banks will borrow more and the banks will have more money. So cost of borrowing will be less. That means what? It can lend more. It will have more money, banks will have more money, means it can lend more. So this is wrong. Increase in repo rate will decrease the cost of borrowing. If the repo rate is increased, then banks can't borrow more, then cost of borrowing will be more and banks cannot lend more. So this is also wrong. Okay, this is also an increasing lending, it cannot increase lending. Increase in repo rate will decrease the cost of borrowing. Increasing repo rate will not decrease. Increasing repo rate will increase the cost of borrowing, okay, and decrease the lending. Okay, decrease the lending is correct, but it will not decrease the cost of borrowing. Okay, it will increase the cost of borrowing. Okay, yes, decrease the lending, that is correct. Now decrease in repo rate, okay, decrease in repo rate will decrease the cost of borrowing. Yes, okay, decrease in repo rate. Repo rate is decrease, means interest is less, means you can borrow at less rate, and because of that banks will have more money. Banks will have more money means it will lend more. So this is what? It will increase the lending by commercial banks. It will increase the lending by commercial banks. So option D is the right answer, friends. So option D is the right answer to this question. Clear? So suppose, see here, if I talk about this is a bank, this is a RBI, this is a bank, and you are the consumer or the customer. Okay, customer. Here we are borrowing at repo rate. Okay, repo rate. If the repo rate is high, okay, banks will have money will be less. So lending will be less. On the other hand, if the repo rate is less, okay, banks will have more money. Because of more money, lending will be high. So that is what the concept is here. Okay, this you have to understand. That's it. Okay, let us go to the next question, friends. Look at the next question. They are telling PQRS, TUV, are seated around a circular table. Okay, they are telling that there are 80% seated around a circular table, but circular table you have to know these two concepts. One is what? Here, either they are facing towards each other or facing away from each other. Let us take the two scenarios also. Okay, so 8 people means let us take the 8 cardinal direction, that is see here 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, another one see here 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that means what? 8 we got. Okay, here let them be facing outside. Let them be facing outside. Here let them be facing inside. Let us take two scenarios. In such seating arrangement question, please take two scenarios, then it will be easy. Then after doing this scenario, first what you should do? You should take the data which is absolutely correct and exactly. Okay, you can use it to fix exactly. So see here, S is opposite of W. S is opposite of W. S can come anywhere. Okay, that is fine. Okay, as of now I will not take the data. U is seated to the second to the place of right of R. Okay, U is seated at the second place to the right of R. U is seated at the second place to the right of R. So that means first what I should fix? I should fix R. Okay, so if I fix R here, let me fix R here. Okay, so here R is, it is facing outside. For its right, second to the right of R. For me, that is if I am R, second to the right of R means this is first right, second. So this is what? U is coming here. Then T is seated third place to the left of R. To the left of R. Third place to the left of R. First place, second place, third place. T is coming here. T is coming here. But here R is facing inside. Second place to the right of R means here U will come here. Okay, U will come here. Third place to the left of R. 1, 2, 3. So T will come here in this scenario. Now they are telling, see here, now they are telling V is a neighbor of S, but before that S is seated opposite to W. S is seated opposite to W. S is seated opposite to W means, so S if I keep here, W should come here, but T is there, you cannot keep here. S if I keep, U is already here. So if I keep S here, W will come here. Okay, so V is a neighbor of S. V is a neighbor of S. Let us keep it. Okay, as of now, I'll keeping it here. Okay, then what I can take? See here also what I can take here. I'll keep S here. W will be here. W will be here. Now, what are the other things? V is the neighbor of S. V is the neighbor of S means I'll keep V here. Okay, V is the neighbor of S. Remaining things are what? Okay, remaining things are what? What are the other things? There are two things, that is P and Q. Correct? No? P and Q are there. Okay, P and Q are there. P is a neighbor of R. P is a neighbor of R, we cannot say. P is a neighbor of R, we cannot say. Okay, if I place P here, see they are telling which of the following must be true. Okay, if I place P here, Q will come here. Okay, if I place P here, Q will come here. Okay, so what happens? Just a minute. What happens? If I place P here, Q will come here. Okay, so what happens? Okay, Q will come here. So the first sentence, P is a neighbor of R, you cannot do. So let us use this arrangement. Let us come back to this if you are not getting from here. P is a neighbor of R? No, P is not the neighbor of R. Okay, P is not a neighbor of R. Okay, if I place P here, P will not become neighbor. They are telling must be true. You cannot say must be true here. Okay, Q is a neighbor of R. Q is a neighbor of R. If I place P here, Q here, I cannot say with absolute conclusion that Q is a neighbor of R. If P is a neighbor of R, Q cannot be neighbor. If Q is a neighbor of R, P cannot be neighbor. So this I cannot say with absolute true. Can't say. Okay, I cannot say. Here also cannot say. Okay, absolute clarity I cannot say. P comes here means Q comes here. If P is a neighbor of R, Q cannot be neighbor of R. We cannot say this absolute this one. P is not seated opposite to Q. R is a left neighbor of S. R is a left neighbor of S. We cannot say. See R here. Okay, is a left neighbor of S. Yes, we can say here. But what about here? R is a left neighbor of S. Okay, here also we can say. But if I write S here and if I write W here, we cannot say R is a left neighbor of S. P is not seated opposite to Q. P is not seated opposite to Q. So see here which of the following must be true. Okay, P is not seated opposite to Q. Okay, P is not seated opposite to Q. See here, P is definitely, see here, P is not seated opposite to Q. P definitely is not seated opposite to Q. If P comes here, Q comes here. Okay, P opposite is U. Okay, if Q opposite is U. Okay, so what is with absolute conclusion? I can say option C. P is not seated opposite to Q. If Q is here means, P is here. Q opposite is T. Okay, if P is here means Q is here. Okay, P is here means P opposite is T. Okay, so opposite of P will be T, opposite of Q will be T. So P and Q cannot be opposites of each other. So this is the absolute correct statement. Okay, absolute certainty you can say this. Clear? Let us move to the next question, which is based on time, speed and distance. See here, look at this question, observe carefully, all of you please read the question once. So they are telling the distance between Delhi and Agra is 230 km. Okay, the distance between Delhi and Agra. Okay, let me place it here. Let me wipe this down. Already it is done, so let me wipe this down. Let me solve it here. I need space. So see here, the distance between Delhi and Agra is 230 km. Delhi and Agra. Delhi and Agra is 233 km. Okay, 233. A car P started traveling from Delhi. Okay, car P started traveling from Delhi. Okay, to Agra, and another car Q started from Agra. Okay, Q started from Agra. Okay, okay, along the same road 1 hour after the car P started. Okay, if P is starting at 2 o'clock, okay, 2 p.m., this is starting at 3 p.m. Okay, so 1 hour P would have travelled here, 1 hour, in 1 hour. Okay, P would have travelled here. The two cars crossed each other 75 minutes after the car Q started. Okay, both the cars were travelling at constant speed. Okay, the speed of the car P was 10 km more than the speed of the car Q. How many kilometers car Q had to travel when the cars scratched each other? Okay, that means somewhere here these two will meet. Okay, suppose Q has travelled some distance. What is the distance that Q has travelled in that 75 minutes? They are asking. So first of all, let us take that Q speed. Okay, Q speed. Okay, Q speed. Let it be x. Then P speed. P speed will be equal to how much? X plus 10. X plus 10 km per hour. Because they are only telling Q speed is 10 km more than Q speed. Okay, P speed. Okay, so in 1 hour, already 1 hour P has started. P has started 1 hour early. In 1 hour, how much distance it has travelled? That is x plus 10 into 1. That is speed is equal to distance by time. Distance is equal to speed into time. Speed is this much and time is this much. So distance travelled in 1 hour is, what is it? X plus 10 kilometer. By whom? By P. By P. So here how much it has travelled? X plus 10 kilometer. So this will become how much? 233 minus x plus 10. 233 minus x minus 10, that is 233 minus 10 is 223. So this distance will remain what? 223 minus x. This distance will be how much? 223 minus x. So this is the distance that P and Q have to travel to cross each other. P has already travelled this much. Okay, 233 minus x. Now see here. Now you have to focus only on this part. This part is removed. Now 233 minus x is the actual distance now. Okay. Now time taken by Q is how much? 75 minutes. Now see here, relative speed. Since they are moving in opposite direction, relative speed we have to add it. So speed. Okay, if I talk about speed, relative. Okay, relative. If I talk about, this will be this speed plus this speed. X plus 10 plus x. So this will be 2x plus 10. 2x plus 10. With this speed, okay, they will travel for, the boat travel for 75 minutes. Okay, 75 minutes. In 75 minutes, how much distance they would have traveled? Let us find out. Okay, in 75 minutes they would have traveled, they have covered 223 minus x distance. Okay, so let us see this. So speed relative is 2x plus 10. So we are getting speed relative as this much. So see here, distance is equal to speed into time. Distance is equal to speed into time. So if I talk about this, distance is how much? 223 minus x is equal to speed is how much? 2x plus 10. 2x plus 10. Okay, this much distance they are traveling, they are crossing with each other. Okay, who? P and Q. Okay, so 2x plus 10 into what is it? It is nothing but equal to what? 75 minutes. 75 minutes means it is nothing but 75 by 60. 75 by 60 means it is nothing but 5 by 4. 5 by 4. This is what we get. So this is what we get. On solving this, we will get the value of x. On solving this, we will get the value of x. Okay, on solving this, we will get the value of x. Now, if you want to calculate, okay, if you want to calculate the distance travelled by q, if you want to calculate the distance travelled by q, if on calculating this, you will get something like, on calculating this, you will get something like, see, on calculating this, you will get something like x is equal to, you will get something like x is equal to, the speed x is equal to 60.14. Okay, speed x is equal to 60.14 kilometer we will get on solving this. Okay, now we want the distance travelled by q. Okay, distance travelled by q is nothing but what? The distance travelled by q is 223 minus x. Okay, 223 minus x. Okay, this much distance it will travel. Okay, with the speed of how much? Speed is equal to distance by time. Correct? No, speed is equal to distance by time. Okay, so distance is equal to speed into time. So distance is equal to 223 into x. Okay, into speed is how much? Speed we got it as how much? Speed of this is what? 60.14. Okay, 2x 60.14. This is, let us write this here. Let us write this here. So this is 60.14. Okay, this into what is this? We got speed of x is, this is x into what is this? 5 by 4. Okay, if I on calculating this, you will get it as approximately 75.2. So the answer will be here 75.2. That is option B is the right answer. That is option B is the right answer. This is the way to solve the question. This is the way to solve this question. Clear? Everyone understood? So this is the way to solve this question. Okay. So I know it is calculatively intensive, but conceptually whatever the things, relative speed concept you have to use. Okay. You can have a look at the solution again. So see here, this is the way you can solve this. Otherwise there are many other ways, but this is the easy way to solve the question. Clear? Got it? So this is the solution that we have. So 75.2 will be the distance travelled by, what is it? That is q. In how many minutes? In 75 minutes. Clear? So let us go to the next question, friends. Let us go to the next question. So look at this. For a matrix M, okay, M of ij is 1, 2, 3, 4. The diagonal elements are all 0. Actually this question shouldn't have been given for it. This is based on pure mathematics. Actually this is q symmetric matrix. M of ij is equal to m minus m of ji. The minimum number of elements required to fully specify the matrix. So ij 1, 2, 3, 4 means it is nothing but 4 cross 4 matrix. Okay, 4 cross 4 matrix. Let me draw the 4 cross 4 matrix. So this will be our 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they are telling what? The diagonal elements are all 0. So the diagonal elements means these are the things. Diagonal elements 1, 2. These are the diagonal elements. Okay. So what about this value? This will be row 1 column 2. Okay. This will be what? Row 1 column 2. This will be row 1 column 3. Row 1 column 4. So here I should write the same thing. This will be M21. This will be M2. What is this? This should be M31. I should write it as M31 ulta. Okay, this will be M41 ulta, but along with the negative sign I should write it. This will be what? This will be what, friends? This will be what? Row 2 column 3, row 2 column 4. Okay, row 2 column 3, row 2 column 4. This will be row 3 column 2. This will be, what is this? Row 4 column 2. Okay, this is what I have. Now this is what? Row 3 column 4. Okay, this will be what? Row 4 column 3 minus. So here how many elements did we need to complete the matrix? That is, number of elements required to fully specify the matrix. To fully specify the matrix means, that is to fill this matrix, these are the elements that we require. This we get it automatically because m of ij if I get it, we will get minus m of j easily. Okay, m of ij, how many elements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the answer is what? Option B, 6. Don't go for 12. You don't have to count this. These are the elements you have to count. These are required to get this. Okay, once you get this, you will get this automatically because the condition is given. But you don't have to count this. Minimum there was, that means 67. Maximum is 12. Okay, minimum is it is 6. Clear? Got it, friends? This is how you have to solve this question. Let us go to the next question. So this is based on data interpretation. Look at this. So profit based question they have given. Typical data interpretation question. See here. They are telling the profit shares of two companies P and Q are shown in the figure. Okay, they are telling the profit shares of two companies P and Q are shown in the figure. Okay, just a minute. Okay. If the two companies have invested a fixed and equal amount every year, then the ratio of the total revenue of company P to the total revenue of company Q during 2013 to 2018. Every year they invested the same amount, okay, but the profits are varying. So they are asking total revenue to total revenue of company P to total revenue to company Q during 2013 to 18. So that what I have to do? Just I have to add this and I have to add company P's profits, company Q's profit ratio is nothing but equal to ratio of the total revenue. So that I will do it. Okay. So for profit of company P, okay, total revenue of company P, what is that? This is nothing but 10. This is 20. Okay, 10. Let me add it directly. 10 plus 20, 30. Okay, 30 plus 40 is 70. Okay, 70 plus 40. Let me write it. See, 10, 20. This is 40. 40. This is 50. Okay, what about this? This is 40 again. For this, okay, let me add this first. This is 30, 70, 110. 110 plus 50 is 160. 160 plus 40 is, what is it? 200. I am having what? 200. Now look at this. Look at this one. 20. This is 20. Okay. Let me use some other color. Okay. Let it be this. 20. 20 plus 30 is 50. 50 plus 30 is 80. 80 plus 50 is 130. 130 plus 60 is, what is it? 130 plus 60 is 190. 190 plus 60 is 250. So this is 250. Okay. 250. Now if you look at this, you have to take the ratio, correct? No, you have to find the ratio. So what I can do, this is 20 is to 25. I can take 200 is to 250 means, okay, this is what? This is nothing but, this is 4, okay, 5 4s are, this is 5 5s are, 4 is to 5 I have, okay, 4 is to 5 ratio I have, okay, 4 is to 5 ratio I have, okay. So see here, 4 is to 5 ratio I have. That means what? I should get the bigger denominator. Bigger denominator I am getting for this one. But let us see here, profit percentage is given, correct? No, profit percentage is given. Okay, the profit shares of two companies are shown in the figure. Okay, so they are telling if the two companies have invested a fixed and equal amount every year, then the ratio of the total revenue of the company to total revenue of company Q during the 2013 to 2018. Okay, here this is the, what is this? This is the profit here, this is the profit percentage here. Okay, profit percentage here. So that means what? You have to add everything and you have to take the ratio. So 4 is to 5. So in which option we are having? The numerator as the smaller value. Okay, the numerator as smaller value we are having in only option 1 and option 2. Option 1 and option 2. But see here, 4 is to 5. 4 is to 5 means the difference should be 1. The difference should be 1, that is there in option B. So that is option B is the right answer. 16 is to 17 is the right answer. That is what we can go by the given data. Other than that, okay, I think you have to get grace for this because the equal amount you have to calculate. Otherwise, you cannot get the accurate answer, but you can go with the approximate answer, that is option B is the right answer, friends. Clear? Alright, I will wind up now. Thank you. Let us meet in the next session where we will be discussing about key topics that are required for your GATE-XL 2026 examination. Thank you. Stay tuned for Chandu Biology classes for more such interesting topics to be discussed. Take care.